Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a topic that affects millions of people, diabetes. Now, I know it can sound super complex, but we're going to break it all down with a really simple idea. Think of it like a lock and a key. Ready? Let's dive in. So, before we even get into diabetes itself, let's back up a little. Have you ever really thought about how your body gets its fuel? I mean, the energy you need for literally everything, thinking, moving, even just breathing. Where does it come from? Well, you guessed it. It all starts with the food on your plate. All right, so imagine your body is this incredible high-performance engine. It needs fuel to run, right? And it has this really smart, really elegant system for getting that fuel to every single tiny part of you, from your brain to your toes. And understanding how this system is supposed to work is absolutely key to understanding what happens when it doesn't. Okay, so here's how it works, broken down real simple. Step 1. You eat something delicious. Step 2, your body breaks that food down into a type of sugar called glucose. This is the good stuff. This is your body's main fuel source. But here's the catch. That fuel can't just barge into your cells. It needs a special key to unlock the door. And that key, it's a hormone called insulin, made by your pancreas. So, food becomes fuel, insulin is the key, and that key unlocks your cells to let the energy in. Makes sense, right? Okay, so now we get to diabetes. Diabetes is basically what happens when there's a major glitch in that whole lock and key system. For some reason, the glucose, that precious fuel, can't get inside the cells where it's desperately needed. So where does it go? It gets stuck, just floating around and building up in your bloodstream. And that right there is the central problem. But here's the thing, this glitch isn't always the same. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of issue. In fact, there are 3 main ways this whole fuel delivery system can go wrong. And that's what gives us the 3 main types of diabetes. This is where our key analogy really comes in handy. Let's look at type 1 first. This is when the body's own immune system basically attacks the pancreas. The result? The pancreas makes little to no insulin. In our analogy, the body has completely lost the keys. It just doesn't have them anymore. Now, type 2, which is way more common, is different. The body is still making insulin, it has the keys, but the cells aren't responding to it. It's like the locks on the doors of your cells have gotten all rusty, and the key just won't turn. We call this insulin resistance. And then there's gestational diabetes. Think of this as a temporary version of that rusty lock problem that can happen during pregnancy. Okay, so you've got all this extra sugar, all this fuel, just hanging out in your blood, instead of powering your cells. How does your body react? Well, it doesn't stay quiet. It starts sending out some pretty clear warning signs to let you know something's up. And these are the classic red flags we're talking about. You might find yourself running to the bathroom all the time. Why? Your body is trying its best to flush out all that extra sugar. And because you're losing so much fluid, you feel super thirsty. It's a vicious cycle. And since your cells are literally starving for energy, it's no wonder you'd feel exhausted or even lose weight for no reason. High blood sugar can even mess with the lenses in your eyes, making things look blurry. These are definitely signals you don't want to ignore. So you might notice some of those warning signs, but to know for sure, you need more than just symptoms. To get a real official diagnosis, doctors need cold, hard data. And that means it's time for a few specific blood tests to see exactly what your glucose levels are doing. One of the first tests they'll probably run is a fasting blood glucose test. It's really straightforward. You just don't eat overnight, then they take a blood sample. This gives a clean look at your baseline blood sugar level when your system is at rest. It's a fundamental starting point. Next up, you've got something called the oral glucose tolerance test. You can think of this one like a stress test for your body's energy system. You drink this really sugary drink, and then doctors watch to see how your body handles it over the next couple of hours. It's a great way to see how well you can clear sugar out of your blood when you're challenged, and it's especially important for spotting gestational diabetes. And then there's this test, the HbA1c, which is a total game changer. See, the other tests give you a snapshot, what's happening right now. But the HbA1c, it gives you the big picture. It shows your average blood sugar level over the last 2 to 3 months. It's like comparing a single weather report to the climate data for an entire season. So when you put them all together, these tests give doctors a really complete picture. Your baseline, how you handle a sugar rush, and your long-term trend. Okay, so let's say a diagnosis is made. What happens now? Well, the most important thing to know is that this is absolutely a manageable condition. It's not a finish line, it's a starting line. The goal now is to get a handle on those blood sugar levels so you can live a long, full, and healthy life. But before we get into the how, let's quickly talk about the why. Why is managing blood sugar so incredibly important? Well, if those levels stay too high for too long, that excess sugar in the blood can start to cause some serious damage all over the body. Over time, that high blood sugar can be really tough on your blood vessels and nerves. This can lead to a higher risk for some really serious stuff. We're talking heart disease, kidney issues, nerve damage. It can even affect your vision. And this is precisely why being proactive and managing it day in and day out is the absolute best way to head off these long-term problems. So, how do you do it? Management is really built on these 5 key pillars. Think of it as your toolkit. You've got a healthy diet and regular exercise. Those two help your body use insulin way more efficiently. For a lot of people with type 2, managing weight can make a massive difference. Then you have medication or insulin, depending on your specific situation, to help keep things in balance. And finally, and this is huge, you have to monitor your blood sugar regularly. You have to know your numbers. The real takeaway here is that these aren't just separate steps on a list. They all work together. It's about building a balanced, sustainable lifestyle. All right, so we've walked through the whole thing, how your body's energy system is supposed to work, what happens in diabetes, how doctors figure it out, and the tools to manage it. So why does all this matter? It's simple, really, because knowledge is power. Understanding what's going on inside your own body is the absolute first step to taking control of your health. And this right here really sums it all up, doesn't it? It's not just about getting a diagnosis and then what? No, it's about being an active player in your own health journey. Really understanding your condition, keeping an eye on your numbers, and building a partnership with your healthcare team, that is the winning formula. That's how you prevent complications and really live a good, full life. You know, at the end of the day, whether we're talking specifically about diabetes or just about being healthy in general, it all boils down to the little choices we make day after day. So, my question for you is this. After hearing all this, what's one small, positive choice you can make for your health today? Thanks so much for joining me.